What's going on, PTSD Buddies? So, tonight is the night. I'm going to have a PTSD Buddy Chat with Riad. Riad is the guy who started these guys, Spartan Wellness. And if you don't know who Spartan Wellness is, you're about to find out. We are trying to get him to join us here now. So, get your Spartan Wellness cannabis questions ready to go.
Hey, Jamie.
There he is. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, how you doing, Bob? How you doing? How's Newfoundland?
Newfoundland is good. A little windy, but we're good. How's life on the mainland?
In the Ottawa's capital, Ottawa, we're doing well. It's still a bit cold.
Yeah.
Hoping for the snow to go away so I can not have to shovel or look at someone shovel my driveway.
I just got a snowblower. This is my first winter with a snowblower, and I'm loving the thing.
Awesome.
Yes. So, Riad, we got a lot of people who want to know about Spartan Wellness. So, before we talk about Spartan Wellness, let's talk about who Riad is. Because I'd like to know, I think if we know who Riad is, we kind of might know a bit more about why you wanted to start Spartan Wellness. So, tell us a bit about your background.
Sure. Well, I was born and raised in Ottawa, so I'm in my hometown. I went to school here. My heritage is Danish and Arabic. I joined the Army back in '91, and I was medically retired in 2014. So just short of 23 years. I started off with a little bit of the Infantry Reserve. Then I went down to the Armored Corps out of Petawawa, Royal Canadian Dragoons. And then I did ended up taking my commission later on in my career, and ended up as a logistics officer. But unfortunately, I toured in Afghanistan, Kosovo, Bosnia, Croatia, and the injuries caught up to me there. So my career came to a pretty quick halt there in 2014. And since then, I've been on the road to recovery. It's been a long road for sure. A lot of lost friends, a lot of lost relationships. I found the bottle was pretty much my solution. And I got on a lot of pharmaceuticals. At one point, I think I was taking 19 pills a day. 19 pills a day. I put on about 150 pounds. I became very severe diabetic type 2. But in 2016, a very close buddy of mine introduced me to medical cannabis, and in April I started using it. And by Christmas time, I was off pretty much all my pills except for my diabetic pills, and I had lost about almost 100 pounds. And
wow.
then since then, there's I've lost 130 pounds total. I'm not on any meds at all. My diabetes has pretty much been, it's not eradicated, but obviously it's at a controlled state now where I don't have to worry about medication so much, just diet and exercise. And the cannabis has changed my life. So
wow.
Yeah, that's about it, Jamie. That's me in a nutshell.
So you knew cannabis really changed your life, changed you around, and you wanted to, I guess, tell others about this.
Yeah, so, I was your typical zero tolerance, no drug policy. In the military, I had no love or like for cannabis. I had experimented a bit in high school.
Yeah, haven't we all?
On and off, yeah, with some good hash or something, right? But,
yep.
Back then, I didn't even know really what it was. I just felt funny, right? So, But I had a very close friend. He took about 6 months, and he saw me progressing in a very negative way. And he's actually the vice president of Spartan Wellness, Robert Kennedy. But him and I had worked together, and we had been brothers for a long time with the Dragoons and whatnot. And he kept reaching out to me. So for about 6 months, he kept saying, "Hey, Riad, come and see me. Maybe you should try this, try that." Zero tolerance guy. It finally got to a point where I was at an Iron Maiden concert, and a buddy we were with convinced me to take a couple hauls of the joint. And I was really, really scared to do it. And it was funny, actually, because he told me, he goes, here, we'll smoke this one and you'll feel great and all energetic. And then I said, well, what are those ones? And he said, well, those are the ones I used to go to sleep. I said, oh, man, I could use one of those. And he said, no, we'll smoke this one before the concert, enjoy it. Well, we end up smoking the wrong one. So, so the whole concert, I was standing around thinking I'm jumping all over the place. But my brother and our friend there reminded me, he kept saying, Riad, you're comatose. You're not moving. I said, yeah, but the concert's amazing. So Rob convinced me to stop in and see him. On my way back from Toronto and Trenton area, I went and saw him, and he introduced me to, taking it in pill form, not smoking it, because the smoking really wasn't, there's just too much stigma subconsciously. I have children. It wasn't going to work for me to venture into that, even though, it's proven that the medicine's fantastic. But once he introduced me to the pills, it was very easy for me. It was just like I'm taking medication. And I took the cannabis pills. I had learned how to make my own oil. The LPs are now doing a really good job in producing oil for us, so it takes away a lot of the burden. But probably the biggest thing for me was learning the differences of the compounds in medical cannabis, and mostly the two main ones, THC and the CBD. But once I realized that CBD in itself was just such a beautiful medical creation from God, and then the THC added a little bit more to it. Once I learned how to manage that through education from my peers and then experimenting myself, because it's beautiful that marijuana empowers us to medicate ourselves. We don't have to worry about ODing on Oxycontins or Percocets. Yeah. We'll just go to sleep for a day or two, right, Jamie?
Right.
But, once I learned that, my anxiety, my flight, my heightened sense, the stuff that, happens to a lot of us with post-traumatic stress disorder and the physical injuries. Once I learned how to understand and diagnose dose myself, and then with the help of friends, it's been a complete 180 lifesaver for me. And not only for me, Jamie, but for my family, for my wife, for my kids, for everybody.
Yeah, I agree. I too. I wasn't on 19 pills, but I was on 4, and I'm not on any right now. Just the cannabis, and it has done wonders for me. Like, amazing. I can't say enough good things about it. Right?
Yeah.
But why Spartan Wellness? We are and how did this all come about? I guess I know why. Because it's done wonders for you, so you want to give that to others, right? So how did this all come? How did you become the man to start this?
Well, for one thing, I'll say I'm not the man. My experience with medical cannabis is a lot. I will say that. However, there's a lot of people in the Spartan Wellness team that have a lot more experience with me. That right from growing it to actually getting a seed to hatch, right up to what would be the best strain management for you on a personal level and whatnot. But where Spartanist came from was there was 9 of us, 9 veterans, that we realized with the way things were going and out there, there's a lot of people taking advantage of the veterans. We have some of the best coverage in the world as far as veterans go. A lot of us may not think that, but experiencing a lot of working with a lot of veterans, a lot of soldiers around the world. Myself, I've come to know that we do have probably some of the best coverage in the world, if not the best. So, that's an accolades for Canada, but we all know that there's a lot that has to improve there. But 9 of us got together. We realized that we needed to, do something to give back. A lot of, like I said, a lot of organizations are very, very happy to have veteran clients, patients, because we are covered. So what we decided was we formed Spartan Wellness. We'll help people, educate people, but with integrity and respect, and to give back and honesty. So the giving back is a huge thing. If a private company is going to grow, it's important to recognize why it's growing, and what better way to give back to the veteran communities at the boots on the ground and also at the national level. And so that was, one of the big pillars of Spartan Wellness. And then really the biggest thing is just educating people.
Yep.
We as veterans, our core is to help. We're trained that way right from the day you join in, basic training right up to going overseas. We look after each other. We're doing it to save Canada, to create a better Canada. And, you know, with that, it's that's why Spartan Wellness really started, because we wanted to make sure that we restored some of the integrity that should be back there, give back, and provide, you know, absolute top-notch service to the veterans, first responders, and civilians, Canadians as a whole. And that's why Spartan Wellness really where it came from, between the 9 veterans.
Yeah, well, I've seen you guys in work. I've been to the Timacantra Memorial Trust Gala.
I got to say hello to Vanessa. Hi, Vanessa. Hi, Vanessa. And hi to Francisca as well. I'm just noticing the names coming up, so I'm sorry I'm late to say hello.
Yeah, Francisca's watching. She's always been watching. Adam's there. Hey to Stephanie and David and Felicia, Misty.
Nice.
But
nice.
So how did you start it?
Well, you know what? We in June last year.
Doctor today, and I talked to the Spartan doctor today. He's a busy man.
Yeah, very busy man.
I think
very busy.
Spartan are busy. I know every time I talk
well,
to you,
we're definitely
we're coming back from somewhere.
Yeah, you're right, Jamie. You know, it's a busy time. You know, so what we're doing is we are across Canada. Our doctor is very busy. We're doing well as far as the patients coming in and giving them the service that they need. You know, there's a lot of hurting veterans out there, a lot of hurting first responders. They don't know where to go. There's a lot of places that will, you know, will offer services, but not the best type of services. They might not necessarily understand. Spartan Wellness, we've been fortunate enough to really you know, capture proper doctors, proper staff that really understand what PTSD is all about, what it's like to have that kind of injury along with physical painful injuries. And so they understand that, you know, you can only work as hard as a patient, and you need to help the patient. And the patient sometimes, they need that extra little hand-holding just because it's important, right? And like they did from so many Canadians in their careers, we have to start doing that back for our troops. And that's where Spartan does that for. So if you talk to Doctor today, you saw that he is a busy guy. He had a pretty full day of clinic day. So, but it went well. It went really well.
Yep. Yeah, he's good. He is really good. I think you had a bit of a delay going on there. You freeze every now and then.
Yeah, my frozen now. You stopped for a second there. Yeah, it's you know, it's we're pretty far apart, Newfoundland and Ottawa, right?
Yeah,
Ontario.
It's all Facebook.
We gotta call the Facebook guy. Say, hey, come on, beef up your system.
Yeah, can't work like
I
this.
will say this though, Jamie. You know, I'm really excited actually. If there's any questions with regards to the services Spartan Wellness offers, however, I'll go a little bit into it. So at Spartan, we obviously offer the medical cannabis prescriptions for veterans and anyone or civilians who are looking for prescriptions. You know, you need obviously a diagnosis of an ailment that is treatable by medical cannabis. We also offer at-home telemedicine kinesiology, and we'll be moving into the mental health side as well with social worker and psychologist within the next 30 to 60 days. Part of what we do also is we support a lot of veterans with paperwork. So a lot of people don't know that they can apply for certain things. They don't know how to go through the paperwork. A lot of guys don't even know that they can get coverage for you know, a lot of their injuries that they got out, you know, many years ago, because back then there wasn't really a medical release system. It was more just, you were broken, let's sort of push him to the door, he'll eventually walk away, right? And this is both obviously our female and male soldiers. So there's a lot of people out there that don't necessarily even know that they're entitled to these benefits. So part of it is to make sure that we educate them. We offer this assistance to them through our educators. Jamie, you're one of our educators, and it works out well because that's probably the biggest part of the road to recovery is knowing what you can actually use to recover, right? And we all get lost in a little hole there, and if there's nothing there to lift us out, we tend to stay there.
Oh yeah. Well, I know one thing I've done as a Spartan Wellness rep is help veterans fill out their forms on online when they log into the VAC accounts. Because I know a lot of veterans. Yeah. I know me at first could get really frustrated with filling out those forms. So I don't mind helping out a veteran, get whatever they got coming to them.
Yeah, for sure. And, and that's the thing with Spartan and our educators and our founders and stuff is that we've all gone through it, right? I remember when I was medically released, it was friggin' horrible. I didn't know what to do. I ended up, threatening a doctor at a walk-in clinic because he wouldn't give me the Ativan. But, here's a young guy who doesn't know who the hell I am. And I don't want to sit there and tell him my whole story, why I'm having a panic attack or anxiety. Yep. And I feel like, doing something stupid. So, there's a lot of things that happen. Every one of us has a story. The similarities are horribly close. It's too bad. And that's what Spartan Wellness is here for, is to bring positive solutions to a veteran world that's been really pushed and pressed down on. And we need to get together, join together, work together in a positive way, and come up with solutions and show that, look, we can do this, and VAC, you need to help us. Government, you need to help us. But the problem we get into now, and this is obviously a personal thing, is that, we're always yelling at the government to fix it. Their hands are tied. They can't, there's not much they can do, right? So yep. We need to start stepping up as a team together. Great things do happen together. And the more voices we have working together, the faster we'll get resolved for everything that we deserve and require to keep serving Canada. And that's really what the big thing is we need to keep serving Canada, because that's what we did. That's what we know. And we need to keep doing that in a wearing an army uniform, carrying a gun way, but there's lots of potential for all veterans, regardless of your illnesses or injuries, to still serve Canada in a productive, positive way. We just need to be allowed to. And Spartan, we feel that we can sort of generate that course forward to create that positive solution to help everybody work together and have great things happen.
Okay, well, let's talk to a civilian person now. Let's say there's a civilian that's watching right now, and he's interested in trying cannabis. He's heard good things about it. He has some chronic pain, some back problems. All right? So Sure. What does he do? The first thing he does, he finds Spartan Wellness.
Yeah, so he can go to the Spartan Wellness.
Tell me.
Yeah, this delay, eh? Do you still have the delay on your side?
Yeah, it feels like I'm cutting you off sometimes.
Well, I'm going to keep my mouth quiet until I see you stop talking.
That could take a while.
Look at everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Love Newfoundland. I love Newfoundland. Listen, go to our website, www.spartanwellness.ca. You can fill out an interest form online. You can also call us at our toll-free number, 1-877. We'll give these digits at the end as well. But 1-877-219-1255. Ask for Maggie. She'll probably answer anyways. Great person. And she can help you get in there. Yeah, or you can email info@spartanwellness.ca, and then what will happen is somebody will contact you directly. Now, if you have an injury, any injury, there's 100, well, there might be over 200 injuries now. I haven't looked at the list recently, but there's probably 200 medical conditions that can be or are treatable with medical cannabis.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wicked.
So essentially, when you come to Spartan, you'll be go through an intake process. All of it's virtual. There's an online registration portal that you'll do. We ask a certain amount of questions. It takes about 30 minutes to 40 minutes. And then from there, you submit your diagnosis forms and whatnot. And pretty much you'll have your appointment either on a Monday or Tuesday. And then from there, we submit it to the licensed producer of your choice, which everybody has a choice. We're not dedicated to just one. There's a lot out there and people have their preference. And that's it. Within a week, you usually can order your medical cannabis. Now, if you're a civilian, obviously there's no insurances out there and there's no coverage. So we usually recommend one of the cheaper LPs that produce or cost a little less than one of the major ones. So just to help you with the cost. And then also too, there's also some LPs have low income assistance. So they'll either waive the shipping or they'll discount the medical cannabis by 10, 15, 25%. So those are the things that we would talk about with you when you're choosing your LP if you're a civilian applicant or patient.
Yeah. Earlier in the chat, you talked about being at a Iron Maiden concert and having one joint that was good for the concert and then one that was good for the evening and nighttime. Now, I myself know the difference between the indica. I know the difference between the indica and the sativa. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about that?
Yeah. So, there's 6 land races, 6 plants, 3 sativas, 3 indicas. They all sort of, and then everything else now is all pretty much a hybrid, right? So there's the Durden poison and so forth, the Kushes, the OGs, ocean grown. I'm not going to go into too much of it, but there's 2 distinct strain qualities. So sativa, and it's best explained as it's a euphoric. I often myself refer to it as a Mother Nature Red Bull. It gives you energy, it gives you a bit of wings, and it'll give you a little bit of when I say euphoric, you're gonna have a clearer mind. You're gonna have that energy you need to get up and go. Myself, I find I work really well with a light sativa as far as doing my stuff. You hear a lot of people will tell you that when they take sativas, they clean the whole house. And that's the sativa side. That usually comes from the taller trees that have been allowed to grow longer. The indicas, it's a lot tougher type plant, and they call it indica, and then a nickname is like in the couch, right? So if you want to fall asleep, or a lot of indicas are good for your diet to promote eating and stuff, especially with people who do chemo and all that kind of stuff. They'll do more of an indica, and it also gets you pretty high, man. Like you're buzzed out, you're pretty relaxed, you're not going to have any anxiety or nothing, and you pretty much will close your eyes and go to sleep and probably have. I find when I do a good shot of indica at night, I don't wake up, I don't remember the dreams because it was that good, solid of a sleep. It was awesome. Right. So with the sativa is more of a daytime, indica is more of a nighttime. That sort of seems the norm with the law doctors, I'll tell you that. However, we also have to keep in mind that if you have a very bad, you're very low mood and stuff, indicas are good for that type of to get you lifted up. However, if you have anxiety or panic attacks and things like that, like I end up having a lot of that. I try to stay away from too much sativa because it's going to ramp me up. It's like having a bunch of coffees, a bunch of Red Bulls is just no good for you, right? So I do a little bit of a mix myself with an indica, and I'm a little sativa just to give me a little bit of punch, and then everything is 50% CBD. So whatever I'm taking, I put a lot of CBD in there because the CBD is a natural anti-inflammatory. I always refer to it as its kickstart system. Our body's been mapped for this since evolution, and your body really reacts well to it.
We got a question here. Stephen wants to know: can you provide the list that you mentioned earlier? I think Stephen is talking about the list of different diagnoses. Is there a spot that he can go to find that list of different diagnoses that's treated by cannabis?
Yeah, so if you visit Health Canada, and you do a search for treatable conditions with medical cannabis or medical marijuana, usually you can find the list there. But also to a Canadian Google search of what is treatable with medical cannabis, you'll usually come up with some pretty good hits. But the most reliable source is Health Canada. But what I will do for you, though, is I will, when I leave here, I'll make sure Jamie has a proper link for that for tomorrow, and he can get it up on your PTSD Buddy site, Jamie, okay?
That sounds good, yep. Riad, Laura would like to know, as a civilian, how could someone get a discount on an existing LP?
Okay, so just to clarify the question, they're asking if they can get a discount at the LP they're already registered at?
That's what it sounds like to me, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, like I said, every LP works a bit different. They all offer their programs all throughout the year. So, depending on what LP they are at, what we can do is, if they're a Spartan Wellness patient, we can call the LP on behalf of that and see if there can be any kind of adjustments. However, you know, they might want to start looking for an LP. Emblem's a very good LP that's got that can be, you know, that can provide just, you know, a better discounted product for them. The thing is, you know, with Spartan, it's not hard to change LPs. It's really just a phone call. We do a little bit of a follow-up type appointment, and it can happen pretty quick. So it's not hard to change LPs. I want everybody to think of LPs as sort of the pharmaceutical company. They're the ones who are actually making the medicine, right? So if you don't like a Pfizer, you go to somewhere else. If you don't like that, you go somewhere else. So it's all up to you. And I always like to reiterate this when I talk about medical cannabis is, you know, I'm sure a lot of doctors don't like to hear it, but we're very empowered with medical cannabis. We're not, you know, we can really find out what medicine, what strains work for us as an individual. And really a lot of that comes with talking, learning, and trying. So I always say, don't be scared. Don't get stuck to just one LP. Open your eyes on it. Make sure you have a good look and do the research. There's nothing wrong with Googling LPs and finding out who's coming out with the newest, you know, toted best product, right?
Yeah. All right. Jennifer asks, what is an option for someone who experiences anxiety when using cannabis?
So it's funny. I'm going to bring this on a personal level because when I first started cannabis, I had a lot of anxiety, and really the anxiety comes down to paranoia. You know, it's a new drug. Nobody's really tried it. It's pretty simple. You know, when a doctor says try this pill, you'll probably feel this and this and this. So we sort of have an understanding of it. But there's no stigma to it. There's no stigma that it's illegal. There's no stigma that it's bad. There's no stigma this. It's just this is what your doctor gave you. So subconsciously, we're a little more prepared for that kind of whatever effect it's going to give us. Medical cannabis, a lot of times, I'm not saying that this is the only reason, but a lot of times there's a bit of a paranoia with it, and we subconsciously create that level. However, if you've noticed that you are getting anxiety from the cannabis, sometimes it's a strain selection. You have to check if it's the hybrid. So if it's a 60-40 or a 50-50, it can still be a little bit sativa dominant. And sativa will increase your anxiety a little bit, and it will also, you know, give you a bit of euphoria. So if it's something that's new to you, and you get a bit of euphoria, and you get a bit of an anxiety, you already have anxiety to begin with, it'll be escalated pretty good. So I always say that if you're noticing that kind of stuff, try some indica and see if that has the same effect. A very low dose. Try to stay, you know, between the 8s and 10s, 12s of indica, and try to do that. But probably the big thing is look at what your strain is, see what the hybrid is of THC to CBD, and also what kind of THC it is. If it's a sativa dominant, then that could probably be your problem.
I also found too the way you ingested the cannabis affected me different. From like cooking with it to using the oil to vaping to smoking, I found all of it different. I know I find myself get less anxiety from vaping than I would just regular smoking. But that's just me personally.
Yeah, exactly. So
we got Laura here.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Take it. You know, we have.
He's getting a kick out of this.
We have the old days of smoking it. That's what a lot of people did. That was the way we did it. You roll your little joint behind the high school, and hey, here we go, boys. But myself, I'm 90% of this pill form. I make my own oils. But I do one hitters during the day with a little bit of indica if I'm triggered. If I have a bad day, if something triggers me, I still struggle with diesel smell. So if I get too close to a gas station and I'm not set of mind, I'm triggered. So I'll vape or I'll use a little one shooter.
Mm-hmm.
It really becomes a personal preference. Taking the pill form, digesting it through your stomach, it lasts longer, but it also takes a little longer for it to kick in. There's lots of ways you can speed up that process using medium chain triglyceride oil, coconut oil. It's it quickly digests into your system. It's very low compounds on the chain, so the body doesn't have to work as hard. So, you could probably speed up the ingestion to about 15 minutes, but really it depends on the individual and their digestive tract. If you vape, smoking marijuana is the fastest relief you're going to get your head. So smoke it, but the THC is where you'll feel the most. But it's a very peak high. So you'll go up, you'll stay there, and you're back down. So within 1 to 2 hours, again, depending on your body, that high is gone. So usually people who smoke end up smoking more. So those are the guys you hear about smoking. Those are the patients that you hear smoking, 5, 6, 7 joints a day type thing. The pills, I take them 3 to 4 times a day myself. They last for a good 2 to 3, 4 hours. And that's usually the norm, what we hear with the pill intake. Vaping, it'll take a little longer. And again, it depends on the individual. Hour and a half to 2 hours it'll last. Cooking obviously is the best. Edibles, I love brownies.
Yep,
I gotta watch.
I agree. That's the best. That's my thing.
Edibles are the best. Yeah, for sure. The problem with edibles, though, Jamie, is you don't know what the dose is, right? So you really got to make it yourself. I always tell people, be very careful if you're going to make any edibles. I recommend you don't actually make edibles and give it to other people, because if they have no experience with cannabis, it could turn out to be a pretty crazy situation for you. And so, always be really careful when you're doing your edibles, and try to really control how much you put in, because the last thing you want is your dog eating an edible and then pooing all over the floor, which happened not too long ago with a friend of mine. So, yeah, it's not cool. It was a bit of cleaning.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome.
Yeah. Laura says, Lori says, my cannabis specialist recommends indica only for my PTSD, and I only use it for sleep. Okay. Let's see what else we got here.
Yeah, hold on, guys.
Kate says, I find cannabis.
What's up, honey? Yes, yeah, I will when I'm almost done, okay? Sorry, guys. My daughter was just coming to me there. Go ahead. Sorry, Jamie.
Kate says she finds cannabis works extremely well in dealing with her PTSD. However, where do you go to get it? She lives in Nova Scotia. So is Spartan in Nova Scotia?
Yeah, so we like I said, we're right across Canada virtually. So we have educators that are in PEI, that are in Moncton, that frequent Nova Scotia. We actually have 2 educators that will be starting up soon in Nova Scotia, along with one of the things we support is just Music Heals Veterans. So there's lots of education there, but really, to be honest, the fastest way is just go online to spartanwellness.ca, show your interest form. Someone will get back to you within 24, 48 hours with instructions on how to register online. And then from there, we'll either, we can assign you an educator. You can use that educator. If you have the experience and you know what you're doing, then you can do it yourself. But, an educator is always best to get the ideas of which cannabis is where to go. And a lot of our educators have experience on multiple LPs, so they'll be able to give you honest opinions of what to expect from each LP when it comes to customer service, their actual product, and their shipping times, right? That could be pretty important too, because if you have someone who's really reliant on the medical cannabis and they don't ship always on time, you don't want to have a day or two where you don't have your medicine, because that can really set you back.
Yep, I agree. Yep. Kate asks, do you need a prescription from your doctor? Now, we know you don't need a prescription from the doctor, but what do you need from your, what does a person need from their doctor in order to move forward with Spartan Wellness?
Yeah, okay, so I'll talk on a few different levels then on that one there, Jamie. If you're a civilian, we just simply need a diagnosis, and we usually like to have a prescription history list as well. Those two items are the most important. Without a diagnosis, our doctor can't prescribe. The prescription list is important at all levels as I proceed through, because it shows the history of what you did prior, so the doctor's a little more educated on what medicines you've tried. And then also, too, it's a good track record to see what you're coming off with the use of medical cannabis, right? And you can titrate yourself properly and not come off too fast. And that's where our doctor will have the input for you as well. If you're military, we just need your diagnosis or your summary of assessment if you have disability pensions through Veteran Affairs. And first responders, again, it's really just the diagnosis, as well as with police and whatnot. RCMP, they fall under the VAC type thing, along with the veterans. So with your SOA from Veteran Affairs for the RCMP officers, and really that's all we need. Again, the prescription list is really important because cannabis is still considered sort of a last resort drug. So to have that history there could just justify why your prescription exists and how big your prescription can be.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm going down through some more list questions here. Kate asks, I need one for sleep, pain, anxiety, and panic attacks. Is there one mixture out there that can do this? Well, I don't know if there's a mixture for all of it that could cover all of it. That would be that'd be a good one, though.
Wow. Sorry, that was Kate?
Kate, yeah, she mentioned sleep, pain, anxiety, and panic attacks.
Well, her and I are the same people.
Yeah. Well, like we talked earlier,
right.
Kate, if you're watching, if you go rewind back in our video, Riad was talking about indicas and sativas. I mean, indica would be, I guess, a good one to help her with her sleep, and a high one with CBD, said earlier, would be a good one for pain, right? Yeah.
So the big thing is like try to get a 1-to-1 ratio. So like I said, for mine there, I have my batch consists, each pill is about 50% CBD, and then the rest is made up of a very mild sativa with a more dominant indica. But now my indica, so when you're looking at marijuana, you'll be given percentages. So the percentage represents the value of that medical compound that's involved in that strain, oil, or dry bud. So, for example, if you see something that says 10% THC, there'll be two numbers. One number is what the potential is and what it got tested at. So there's a range within that THC will fall at, and then there's an actual, right? So,
okay.
For example, for me, I use a very mild indica during the day. It's about 8% THC, and it's an indica. And then my sativa is about a 7% THC indica or sativa, and then on top of it I have a 16-17% CBD mixture. So together I get a little bit of that sativa euphoric where I have more energy, but the indica keeps me very mellow during the day. So my anxiety, my panic attack, and when I talk about panic attacks, Jamie, I've been to the hospital probably a dozen times, right? And I, you know, a couple times they kept me there overnight because they were like, what the hell's going on? So I haven't had a panic attack since I've started using medical cannabis. So, you know, it's been a
That's
blessing,
good, man.
And that's what I do. So for the nighttime, you want to go with a high. You got to work your way up to it, though. You don't want to just go bang on heavy and then just, you know, because again, there's stigma, there's a paranoia, it's a new feeling. But the higher the THC is at night, the more you'll sleep. But I want to say this. Everybody says cannabis is like a sleep drug. It's not. It's a sleep aid. It does not actually put you to sleep like trazodone or those other pharmaceutical drugs. What it does is it relaxes your body to a point where when you do fall asleep, you go to REM. You fall into REM. And that's, you know, talking with a lot of sleep specialists and people like that, that is the most important part. 3 to 4 or 5 hours in the REM cycle is equivalent to having 10 hours of sleep without being in a REM cycle, if not more, right? Like you actually sleep. And that's why when I wake up, I don't remember my dreams because I was in REM. And you'll find that your sleep, once you get sleep, your body starts to adjust back to normal. And a good friend of ours, Devin Larrett there, he said it perfect. You know, in the military or anything, when we're ill, we forget to sleep. And sleep is probably one of the most, next to water and food, sleep is probably the most important things that you need to make sure you do.
Not yourself when you're not getting your sleep. And Kate was talking about different mixtures. I don't know if there's a mixture out there that works for everybody. I think there's so many different strands and different types of marijuana and CBD and percentages that you almost got to test the water and figure out your own little mixture of different types, you know?
Yeah, you know, so for someone new to cannabis, we can educate and you can recommend. But, you know, that's the beauty about medical cannabis is you are empowered with the medicine to figure out what works for you. And the funny thing, you know, it's a range thing too. You know, for example, Jamie, I'm a bigger guy. You know, I need more medicine than you. We can have the exact same ailments. However, you might need more. You might need 2 grams a day, whereas I only need 1 gram a day. And it's hard. Yeah. It's hard to prescribe somebody with a finite amount because everybody reacts different to medical cannabis. There's people that are allergic to medical cannabis that just can't take it. They'll throw up. They'll get sick, right? So, and that's a fact. You know, there's medicines you can't have. It's like having a peanut allergy. So, you know, the was that?
Right? I didn't say anything. I was listening.
Oh, sorry. I heard Vanessa there for a second. I thought I was getting in trouble.
No, that's Vanessa yelling at the young fella. Well, loud enough that people heard you.
Yeah. Now they know you're always a good boy, Jamie. But yeah, so that's it in a nutshell there about the medical cannabis on that side is we're empowered. We can use the medical cannabis the way we need to use it. And the biggest thing is don't be scared of it. Don't be scared of it. Try it. Slow is good. Low dose is good and work your way up. But don't be scared of it. Take your time and, you know, take a little bit of, you know, make sure you take the time to research and read. That's the biggest thing is it doesn't hurt to Google what a strain is, to do a little extra research. You can call us at Spartan Wellness. We can give you all the information you need. If we don't have it, we look it up, we find it. We'll contact the LPs direct, and we'll walk you through the whole thing. And with Spartan Wellness, we have a very pretty stringent follow-up program. So, you know, you're never going to be left in the dark. It's not one of those, here's your prescription, take off. An educator will always be there available for you to talk any day of the week, as long as you give them, you know, maybe give them a text or whatever. But, and then also too, we follow up in a couple months, and then every 3 months after that, we have a caregiver touch base with you and make sure that you have what you have is good. If you have enough medicine, do you need to get your prescription lower or higher, and so forth. And for the veterans out there, we do the special circumstance letters. We all know that VAC is pretty sticky on it. However, you know, we will process them and submit them, and then we feel that we do it in a just way to show that there is a proper follow-up procedure for the veterans when it comes to medical cannabis coverage.
Kathy's watching. Kathy says vaping is better for me. It don't make me panic. I agree, Kathy. I find when I vape, different than smoke. Vaping, I'm more able to go out and do things and be around people. Smoking is more like at home. I'm chilling out for the night. I'm done for the day. Shout out to Mitch. Mitch is watching. Mitch is talking about me being a baker. I can bake. I'm working on it. I'm working on the brownie thing. You know, my wife's helped me. Misty says my problem is the anxiety that comes of feeling intoxicated with no way to stop. Oh, hang on. We just lost Riad. We're going to have to add him again. Oh my goodness, with these technical difficulties. See if I can find him again here. There he is. Oh, we sent him an invite, but I don't know if I'm going to get him again. I lost connection. All right. I might have to end it here because I absolutely lost him. Good old Facebook. And I can't re-invite him because I've already invited him, so there's nothing I can do. All right, sorry for who's watching. We're going to have to shut it down because I lost Riad. I don't know what happened to him. If he comes back, we'll come back online. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Learned a lot about cannabis. I think we got a lot more to talk about with cannabis, though, and with Riad and Spartan Wellness. So we're going to do this again. Oh, wait a minute. He's back. He's coming. Slowly.
Sorry about that.
We lost you. Yeah. I did a buddy chat not too long ago with a guy in Australia and didn't have these many problems. Got like Canada.
It's Ontario. We got to win government. What do you expect, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the worst thing is when you left, all the questions that were there, well, they're all gone now.
Oh, I don't blame him. Yeah, for sure. Is there any more, like, anything else we want to talk about, or you know?
Well, there was one lady, Misty had a question that was watching, but when we lost connection with you, all the questions that were on the screen disappeared. Oh, so shoot. I lost all the questions from that people had there. So if anyone's watching and had a question, can you please put it back there? Because they all disappeared. But I remember Misty's question. Misty's question was, she gets a lot of anxiety from her smoking. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she doesn't like the feeling of being intoxicated from it. Yeah. So that would be more, she needs to turn more to a CBD. I would guess, eh?
Yeah. So, you know, like, so CBD, for example, you know, it's non-psychoactive, so it doesn't have a psychoactive effect to it. So it doesn't affect you. It doesn't give you that high sensation that THC does. Smoking marijuana, it's directly fed to the brain, so it's very effective for the THC side. Smoking CBD, you'll still get the anti-inflammatory relief. And a lot of people say that they enjoy it. It's their go-to. You know, I have a lot of friends who actually quit smoking rolling CBD joints, and that's what they smoke. So technically they're not quitting smoking, but they've quit cigarettes. And yep. CBD is not going to hurt you. Or at least most research studies now show that it's very effective in anti-inflammatory, pain relief, as well as anxiety and depression. Any illness in the body is an inflammation of some sort. So if we have a mental injury, there's an inflammation in the brain of some sort. The circuits aren't working properly. There's something not happening the way it should happen, right? Our body's made in such a way that it can recuperate. It can be pushed to the spikes of stress and then come back down. Well, something snaps, and that's usually related to some sort of inflammation. So CBD as a regular intake, day and night, is a phenomenal way of maintaining that the anti-inflammatory qualities and bringing down inflammation in your body as a whole, right? So a lot of people have reported that a high CBD dose during the day and at night has definitely reduced their anxiety and helped them sleep. So, you know, CBD can be very effective at many levels. And the people like me, I don't like too much of a high. That's why I prefer the CBD. And most people that are new to cannabis, you'll see them migrate to CBD and then work their way up to the THC, adding THC to their daily routine.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who just use the CBD oil. Don't smoke at all. Just use the CBD oil and find it good. Yeah. CBD is the way to go, man. I find a lot of that's one thing I find, and I don't like it. I mean, I went to a trauma event the other day, and there was a psychiatrist there who she got a lot of questions asked to her about cannabis and marijuana. And she said, well, of course marijuana works. Everybody's high and stoned. And I didn't want to stand up and get into it with her, but I felt like saying, you know, I know a lot of people who are on cannabis oil, especially CBD oil, who don't get stoned at all. They're just pain-free. And yeah, pain-free could be addictive, right?
Yeah, for sure. You know, education is the biggest thing, Jamie. A lot of people don't know. They just know what they've read and what's been told to them, right? Until you actually experience medical cannabis properly optimized for the first time and then see its results over treating yourself over it, you'll realize quickly that there's a lot of professionals out there that are lacking the education that they need. You know, the thing is that a lot of people stoned and happy would be a much happier place to be in the begin with, right? So we look at studies like Israel, for example, where they actually don't give a gram or a gram and a half to their soldiers, and they've been doing it for over 5 to 7 years now, where they actually give a gram and a half to their soldiers when they're coming off the front lines. And that is their decompression. They don't drink. It's, you know, they might drink. I'm not going to, I don't know. But marijuana has been a very, very big part of their soldiers' recovery to deal with PTSD and stress and whatnot. So the reality is there. The research is there. It's only going to get bigger. Canada's most likely going to be one of the, if not the leader, very close to being the leader in medical and cannabis in general in the world as far as research goes. Canada's always been very good at that. And, it's only a matter of time then when cannabis becomes, the first prescription drug versus, the Oxycontins and stuff. And I'm very excited for that day to happen.
All because of the 80s. See, remember back in the 80s when that dude held a frying pan and said, "This is drugs." And then he held an egg. This is your brain. And he smashed the egg in the frying pan. The egg starts frying. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
It pretty much worked for me.
Yeah. I've said it before. It's all Nancy Reagan's fault.
Yeah. Well, the funny stats is in the early 1900s, 1927, 28, 29, sativa oil was from the hemp plant and cannabis plant, I guess, but was the number one treatment for migraines. And then it wasn't until they put the big kibosh on marijuana, said it was causing, schizophrenia, craziness, psychopath, all that kind of stuff, that they actually took it off the shelf. And then Tylenol and aspirin were created. I think it was aspirin first, then Tylenol from the Pfizer's, right, or DuPont's. So, there's but then there's stuff in the Bible, there's stuff in the Quran, there's stuff in all the books that talks about using oil and all that kind of stuff. So I'm very confident to say the history books between the Chinese and everybody that medical cannabis or cannabis in general was used as a way of treating people. And there's enough literature out there that says the Chinese used to use it on the forehead to calm people down from panic and migraines and headaches and stress. So you know, we're in a new era. We're in an exciting time, and everybody, I highly recommend that everybody at least try medical cannabis if you feel you need something different than the way you're going now. And the beauty about medical cannabis is it's not a cure for everything, but what it does is it gets you to a point where you can actually go and see the doctor. You can actually get out of your house. You can actually start hanging out with your peers. You can actually start driving across town to do the shopping. And so it's a very strong tool to initiate you getting all the other tools in your toolbox. And Spartan Wellness, we're dedicated to making sure that you have all the education and utmost professionalism when it comes to, you know, trying and using medical cannabis for the first time, or if you're a seasoned user, you know, we support 100% that way as well.
Excellent. Excellent. Is there anything we didn't cover about Spartan Wellness? We've been talking an hour. That's usually how long we go.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. So I'll
I
introduce
want to
myself
talk about
again.
our tour, but I think we should do that on another chat.
What? Sorry, what's that, Jamie? What'd you say?
I know we were talking about, we might talk about our Newfoundland tour, but I think we should do a whole nother chat on that one.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to give it preemptive. You know, I am fortunate enough to be joining Jamie on a tour in Newfoundland for a couple weeks in June, and we're going to go and visit people, educate about medical cannabis, and we're going to, you know, meet people and hear their stories, and we're going to film it, we're going to document it, and we're hopefully going to take that kind of approach right across Canada. But Newfoundland's the first on the list, and here we go.
We got a lot of PTSD buddies from around the world too, and they really want to see Spartan Wellness right across the world, I think. Hopefully one day, hey?
Well, you know, we do it together. Great things do happen together. We're all family. You know, like I say, that a lot of people ask me what it's like to be, you know, CEO of Spartan Wellness and whatnot. You know, I wear a hat for people looking in, but to be honest, we're all family. You know, we're just as dysfunctional and functional as a family. We all understand where we come from, our patients, our family. So we all know how hard it can be and how good it can be if we all work together. So, you know, if you come to Spartan Wellness, you're joining a family. And, you know, you're helping us give back to the veterans and the communities and the first responders and whatnot that need it. So as you join Spartan Wellness, we give back more and we grow our family. Hey, Vanessa, I love you.
I'm proud to be a member of Spartan Wellness. I recommend Spartan Wellness to everyone. Riad, thanks for having a chat with me. But let's have another one again real soon. I think we talked to a lot of members. We got a lot of questions, but we're out of time. But I'd like to do it again when you're free.
Yeah, for sure. I'm always available. And, you know, it doesn't have to just be me, Jamie. We've got a lot of good guys on the team. I might send you Rob Kennedy. I call him the Messiah. He's like the RSM of Spartan Wellness. So, you know, he's got a good, he's good to talk to. And so anytime you need any assistance, Jamie, and anybody you know that needs help, and, you know, you don't have to come to Spartan Wellness to talk about, to get a prescription for medical cannabis or use our asset. If you just want to talk to a veteran and, you know, you just need some help, reach out. We're here. That's what we do. Is, you know, we're all family. We're brothers. Great things happen together, and we can only do it together. So thank you very much, Jamie. I appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy. And we'll talk again real soon.
Awesome, brother. Bye, Newfoundland. Right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. Thanks everyone who tuned in. Now we're gonna press that. There we go. Thanks everyone who tuned in. It was a great chat with Riad. A lot of questions got answered about cannabis, but we are going to do another chat with Riad just to reach out to a few more PTSD buddies out there who are interested. I think one day you're going to see Spartan Wellness all over the world. They're helping a lot of people in Canada, helping people every day, and I'm proud to be a member of Spartan Wellness. So, thanks to Riad for having a chat with me. Thanks to all of you who tuned in. This is now going to go onto the YouTube channel, so don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to have a PTSD Buddy Chat with me, send me a message on Facebook, and we'll make an appointment with each other. All right? Have a good night, everybody. Stay strong.